What is shaking? It's episode 96, Golden Mike Live, coast to coast, across the world. Be Live, guess what? You tried to stop us again, Be Live. I'm not happy with you, and I don't endorse Be Live. No one paid for Be Live because it always screws up, especially when I have badass guests like Herman Jaramillo. You don't know Jaramillo till now. So this is the deal, y'all. We often talk about having these wonderful relationships, wonderful connections. But the thing is if you don't get to know yourself, there's no way you can have a wonderful relationship. Is that what we're going to talk about today, Herman?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah. So today we have Herman Jaramillo. Herman Jaramillo, intuitive coach. We're going to talk about what intuitive coach is, because I guess there's like non-intuitive coaches out there or something. So we have Herman Jaramillo, intuitive coach, Herman Jaramillo, author, and Herman Jaramillo, my friend. We've been working together for a couple months now, and it is an honor to have you on the show. How are things going in your neck of the woods, brother?
Very good here from Colombia. All is well. Wonderful.
That is
very, very happy, man.
That is wonderful. And we're going to be meeting up in like a couple weeks, man. So like, I can't wait to actually meet you in person.
Yeah, man. In December.
I can't tell if you're like, this is the thing is like, I have this image of you that you're like 6'3", and like when we see each other, like we might be the same height or something. I always have a distortion on the internet of how people look in person. So like, I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Me too, man. Me too. Wonderful.
So Herman, I want to talk about this idea of getting to know yourself. I want to go into your story today, but for those of you who haven't met me, my name is Mark Cordone. I'm the founder of the Joy Revolution. I'm the founder of Make Money Coaching, but more importantly, I'm a positive psychology coach, which means this simply: are you feeling good today? And are you living your life to its highest purpose? So Herman, I'm going to ask you this double-edged question. Are you feeling good and living your life to its highest purpose today?
Yeah, man, perfectly. I feel completely blissed. Living the life I have always wanted to. This is perfect for me, man.
I love it. I love it. Now, this is the deal. For those of you who are watching live or watching on the replay, I need you to do this. I need you to do this for my brother Herman. I need you, if you are living your life in full purpose and feeling good, Herman, raise your hand. Raise your hand with me. Put your hand up in the air. Give me a heart. Give me a heart. Make that heart beat. Hit that heart sign right now. I'm going to wake up all of LA by screaming it in the mountaintops. Make that heart beat if you're living life to your full purpose today. Now, this is the thing, too. You might be saying, yo, Cordone, tone it down. I'm trying to get some sleep over here in LA. I'm trying to get some sleep over here in Colombia. Well, this is the thing. A lot of people think that positive psychology is like shits and giggles 24/7. They think that positive psychology is like rainbows and unicorns and happiness all the time. I'm here to tell you that it's not. It's not about being happy 24/7. Being happy 24/7 is for the sociopaths and for the dead. For everybody else, living your life, living through the ups and the downs and the all arounds, living all of those emotions is truly what joy is about. So right now, if you're sitting here and you're like, you know what, Cordone, like I had an amazing week last week. I'm not feeling so hot this week. I'm not feeling so good. That's cool. That's cool. If you're saying to yourself, you know what, I had 30 years where I was living in my full purpose, and I don't know what purpose is anymore. I feel like I'm losing it. I feel like I'm losing purpose in my relationships. I feel like I'm losing purpose with my job, the job that I loved so much, and now I don't have that purpose anymore. That is cool. That is part of your hero's journey. That is part of your life's journey. Your heart beats just like Herman and mine. So if you're just getting by right now, if you're catching the replay, just give us a thumbs up. Let us know you're alive, because that's part of your journey. Herman, I know that you caught this I know that you've seen the show before. I know you've been rehearsing this part. This is the biggest part. This is the biggest part of positive psychology, y'all. This part that's coming up right now. Whether you're living with full purpose and full happiness, or whether you're not feeling so hot right now, if you are hopeful, if you are optimistic that tomorrow is going to be even better than today, Herman's going to show you this. There is another button down there, and it's called the wow face. And Herman is going to show you what that wow face looks like right now. What is it, Herman? Show me that wow face, son. Oh, God. It's an aggressive wow face. It's an aggressive
man.
I love it, Herman. Now, Herman, this is the deal. No more fun and games, Herman. We've said it all. We've done it all. We need to go into your story. So, Herman, talk to us. What is your story?
Okay, man. I was born in Chicago. I lived there until I was 11 years old. My parents Colombian. We came back to Colombia. Only child. After I came back to Colombia, it was one of the worst times of my life. I felt that everything was against me completely. I even thought about several times about suicide. Nothing happened there, but it was something that was very recurrent for me during that time. My mother had cancer. And then at that moment, I pretty much came up to a tipping point of saying to God, you cure her of a miracle or we cut relationship completely. And well, she passed away when I was 18 years old. And I became the biggest atheist in the world, the biggest against everything that I do today. And I discovered how religion for me had become a custom. I didn't feel it. I didn't really live it completely. It was very lonely for me. My relationship with my father was not that good. And I really had to rely on myself because now my mother wasn't there, God wasn't there, my father. So it was pretty much a very lonely time for me. I started to study business administration. I dropped out because I didn't like it. Started to work at Tower Records. Then Tower Records eventually went down and I went into the family business of a pizza chain here in Colombia nationwide. And I started to work with my father. Unfortunately, we don't have the best relationship. And I said I had to fix my life one way or another. So I said, how can I find happiness? And I thought it was the typical money. I saw everybody that had money and I said, man, if I have a lot of money, I'm going to be happy and everything is going to work out perfectly for me. So I started to look for money. I even tried to touch several businesses, illegal businesses here in Colombia, from drugs, credit card, different kinds of things. And each time that I went into it, I got scared and I didn't do anything. I finally started to lend money and one thing led to another and I lost a lot of money, very much. I was pretty much on the street. My father found out, he helped me out. But in that moment, I had pretty much two options: continue where I was going, and I would probably finish up dead or in jail because one thing led to another, or second, to change my life completely. And those days, I entered into a library, which I love to read books, and I found this book, Conversation by me. I bought it. I called a psychologist that I was working with, and she said, read it. Just read it. And I read it several times. It pretty much changed my life and it gave me life again. It was the most practical spiritual book that I have ever found up to this date. And I started to study this.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I think we cut off. At whatchamacallit? We cut off with the name of the book. So can you say it one more time?
Conversations with God. Neil Donald Walsh. Conversations with God. And that pretty much saved my life completely. I can say it. It was the most practical spiritual book that I found to date. So I started to read it a lot, apply it to my life. Later on, I studied Reiki. Then I met who today is my wife, and she introduced me into angels, which was a big thing for me because it's like I was the manly man to talk about angels and spiritual and rainbows and stuff like that. It was like, really? Yeah, I was like nothing like that. But I asked a lot, and the messages that I received was, I can do this. So I started to study all these woo stuff, medium, psychic, past life, oracle card readings, and everything was, or I said, life is playing the biggest joke on me, or I'm really good at this, because everybody said, yeah, you're spot on. And I was like, okay, I never thought of it, because nobody in my family didn't have the grandmother, the mother, nobody in my family does this kind of work or can have these gifts. So it was very strange for me. And like, I've been always a very rational, pragmatic person. So to really come to this place, it was like, really. And I got to work with addicts in a foundation with also protection, witness protection. So I got to work with drug lords, hitmen, all these kind of people, which was very eye-opening and very beautiful for me because I really got to know the human being from a different level and to really connect with them. Not only like, oh, you did this, but okay, I have the same fears as you. And it was beautiful. But doing all this kind of work, I also tried to learn about coaching because I felt that the woo stuff was very good, but normally it brought in a lot of information. But to take action, it was difficult. And I like to go a lot by the saying of the indigenous people that say the biggest journey that you should take in life is of 18 inches from your head to your heart. Because once you take it to your heart, it's taken into action. So woo stuff, which I did a lot as also a client, it was like I received all this information, but I didn't change. So that's why I call myself an intuitive coach, because I bring in the woo and also the coaching part to be able to apply this and to hold you by the hand and to create the change you've always wanted in your life. So that's a part of almost 5 years ago, I went to a spiritual retreat in Sedona, and I started to say how I'm pushing other people and getting mad with them because they're not following their dreams. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not doing it either. So I left a piece of business and I started to do this, and I started to work on my own and 24/7 on all of that I do in this moment.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You go from not believing in anything to like woo to the nth degree, right?
Yeah.
So even before I ask you about all that stuff, like, what the fuck is woo? Like, what is woo? What does that mean? I hear it all the time, but like, what is it?
Well, the woo part, I heard it like almost a year ago. There was this group in B school, they put in the woo stuff, and everybody started to talk about that woo. And I understood it's all the things like sort of like new age, things that are not very rational, that are like energy talk, that are really seeing energies, seeing stuff, hearing stuff that's not normal, quote unquote, for everybody, although it's very normal for everybody. It has to do with the unknown, I believe, and all these kinds of therapies that probably are not that rational that we might know of, like psychology, psychiatry, coaching, and all of this. So
see, this is woo fucking with us right now. They're trying to stop us from divulging the information. Hang tight, because Herman, I really want to know what's going on with this. It looks like Melanie, thanks for joining us. I really love what you're talking about, Herman. Herman, unfreeze yourself. Unfreeze yourself. Stop playing a mannequin. We need to hear about what this woo is. Right? Melanie's feeling it. They're trying to stop us. They're trying to stop us, Herman. So Herman, you
no, man, I'm here.
It's the BeLive. It's the BeLive conspiracy. They don't want the information out. So what I got was that woo is kind of it's kind of intuitive from the stand, and I guess that's what makes you an intuitive coach. It's kind of intuitive, but also at the same time, it's not conventional. It's not what you see and read about. So exactly. To me, what was not wood. So what is the main premise behind woo?
I believe it's connecting with our divine part. It's connecting with the energy that we all have, and I feel that when I do this work, it's not me. I'm an instrument. It's just information passing through me. It's not like Herman Jaramillo is doing it. No. I just open up a channel. I just open up myself. It's like Martin Luther King used to ask that, please put me aside so you can do the work through me. And that's the part that I do. It's like I just step aside as Herman, and I just let all the information come in, because it's impossible for me, human Jaramillo, as a human, to know all the information that I receive about somebody else that I barely knew. So that's the part that I get there.
So where's this information coming from? If you're stepping aside, what, and Melanie's saying this, yes, connecting to with our divine parts. Boom. Like what is the divine? What are we stepping aside for?
It's permitting our soul, the God part inside of us. I believe we all have that God part. We're essentially a spiritual being, and it's permitting that God part of us to let out, to come out through our body. So in that moment, it's like letting go of our ego, which is the more human part, it's the more Herman part, and it's to be able to let the God part come out and be able to talk.
Okay, so in terms of the things that you can do, like Reiki, that's sort of manipulation of energy or moving around energy.
Yeah, to a certain point, okay. It's just transmitting energy.
Transmitting energy, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're able to talk to angels. You're able to see or communicate with angels, right? Yes. So, like, is that something all of us can do, or is that something that you have? Okay, so why don't we do it?
Perfect, man. Let me just give you an explanation before we do the reading. It's like playing a piano. I believe that. It's like everybody can play piano, but there are certain people that can play it better and they can learn it much more easier. I can learn this much more easier than other people, but anybody can do this. I can teach anybody also to do this. It's very easy to do. So what do you want to ask about?
Well, the first thing I want to ask you is, tell me about the first time that, like, when you met your wife, and here's a person who didn't believe in shit, right? And all of a sudden you're able to communicate with angels. How long did this process take?
A weekend.
It took a weekend? Okay, so this is what I want to know. So, like, it took a weekend for you to communicate with angels. What was that experience like, going from not believing to pretty much the data's in front of you, right?
Well, it was crazy. It was first doubting a lot. It took several years where I had to ask a lot of people, like, can I really do this? And for example, I did a reading on you and you said, yeah, it was spot on. I was like, no, you're just playing with me. It's like, you don't want to let me down, because these were in different courses that I did. And it was like the typical, yeah, you can do very good. It's like if you're singing in front of a lot of people, yeah, you have a great voice. And it's like, yeah, terrible voice. Nobody wants to let you down. So that was the part that I was thinking about initially. And it took me a long while, several years, to be able to say, yeah, I can finally do this and I'm good and I have this gift.
Okay, so like, what are angels? Because I was brought up Catholic, and these are like, they've got robes on, they've got big ass wings, they've got a halo around them. Like, what exactly are they?
I put the following example. If you want to learn how to like to do simple math, it's easier to learn from a school teacher than from a Nobel Prize in mathematics, because these guys are on another level. Normally in energy also, angels are more similar to our energy as a human being, because we have a very low energy, because we have a big ego. So sometimes to communicate or to be able to get in contact directly, energetically with God is not that easy. So it's like a different way. It's an easier way to be able to start connecting with all this energy. And from then on, sky is the limit where you can reach to anywhere you want to go.
So they're like messengers. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what, if they're like high energy sentient beings, why are they fucking around with us?
What do you mean they're fucking around?
No, not like it seems like we're hamsters compared to angels. Like, why would they want to like interact with us? Like, why? I'm not sure.
Part of the whole scheme, man. It's part of the help that we receive, and it's part of the instruments that we receive. I believe everybody and everything is an instrument. It's something that helps us try to pass life, because it's not easy what we're living. Our lives are not easy. Yeah, gotcha. So we need help one way or another. Unfortunately, we can believe it or not, but there are outside information. Like a dog, that's help for you. For example, when you play with a dog, you get that love. And then an angel also is a person or an energy that will help you out, have love or have communication or have something else to be able to get that message or that what you want, what you need to do, that answer to your questions.
So their chief role is really being a go-between between God and humans. Like
Yeah,
that's their job.
yeah, exactly, man.
Okay.
They're with you the whole time. You have free will to be able to do whatever you want. They'll be there with you. If you ask them, they'll help you. They won't intervene in your life unless you ask them. That's something very
Okay, so
important.
I need to talk about how to ask and how to get angels to like be on my side. But like I was also brought up with this idea that we have guardian angels, right? That was
Yeah.
such a big thing in Catholicism. That's something that's very true. Like there will be an angel that's assigned to us, basically.
I don't like that part. People talk about my angel,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's from the ego. It's like you don't own an angel, first of all. It's not like you have, here's the document, my angel is this one. No. Second of all, why do you want one angel or the angel for the rest of your life? It's like having one friend or one partner, stuff like that. Why don't you play with it a little bit more? And people ask, what is their name? And they bring out all these books and complex stuff. And it's like, put the name that you want on it. Hey, I want to call you Johnny. Perfect. They don't have an ego. They don't need to be called a certain way. And it's not like my angel.
Projecting our ego on them, giving them a name, giving them a persona and stuff like that.
Exactly. Play with them. Talk with them. It's like friends.
Now, do they have like a sense of humor?
Of course, man.
What are you talking about? Like, yeah. So tell me about this, a typical conversation that you have with angels, man.
It's like you and I talking in this moment, man. It's like two friends talking and that's it. A lot of people put in a lot of things about you have to put in a candle, incense, all these different things, which are good. But I tell people, look.
Wait, why is that good? Why is that good to do candles and incense?
In some cases, it helps people connect easily. But I feel
it's more for us.
Exactly, from the ego part. Because one of the things I tell people is like, there's an archangel called Michael. He helps you protect yourself, for example, when you feel under danger. It's not like if you feel under danger that you're going to tell the whole world, wait for a second, I pray, kneel down, put in a candle and all these kind of things. It's like, hey, man, I need your help and I need it now. Come on, help me out in this moment. I'm fucking scared in this moment and that's how I am and please help me. That's the part we should be more practical around it and just don't put so much stuff and issues around it. If you want to ask them when you're sleeping, when you're in bed, when you're taking a shower, whenever, and have the conversation like you and I are having. Like, hey, Mark, how you doing, man?
So I could just start right now and just be like, angel,
exactly,
blah blah blah.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this. During probably one of the most trying parts of your life, you asked God and angels to show up for you when your mother was dying.
Yes.
And she passed.
Yes.
Right? That really set you on a journey that you probably had no idea that you'd come full circle on. Have you ever talked to angels about why did you let this happen? Or did you ever have that conversation with them afterwards once you understood this a little better?
I love that question. The thing is, why did they let that happen? It doesn't have to do with them or me. And it was just something very human about a human being. My mother was sick. She had to pass, period. And at the same time, for example, she waited until I was 18 years old. She could have passed before. And I'm very conscious about the part. And that's why I also asked about it. I also said in one moment, I remember when she metastasized her whole body, I said, and I touched her, one time I touched her bed very lightly. And she cried out of pain. And I said, at this moment, what's the use? She can't continue living. At the same time, I also gave permission for this. So it's not so much as it happened or didn't happen. And at the same time, there were a lot of positive things that came out of this. Of feeling that it helped me out a lot in my life. So it wasn't the victim part is, oh, why did it happen to me? No. She also asked for it and she also wanted. And that was part of her mission in her life. So for me to say it happened to me, it was my ego, my fears, and saying, because one of the biggest mistakes we do a lot with sick people is to say, please don't go. That's the most egoistical thing to do. If I really love that person, I should be able to say to that person, whenever you want to go, go. Don't worry about me. That's the best way. One time, my grandmother was dying, and everybody said, "Hey, use your angels." And I said, first of all, I don't do that. But second, if you want her to die just because she was suffering, say to her, "Thank you for all you've given me. Go in peace. I love you very much. I'm going to be okay." And that's the best way. That's all the love. So it really didn't happen anything to me. And I was pretty much doing this out of fear also. It's like I was fed up with all the God stuff, the religion part, and it was doing something very selfish. So
Gotcha.
That's what I understood from that point. Yeah.
So let me throw this out. I just wanted to comment. Melanie's loving what you're throwing down, Herman. So Angel Talk, man. Golden Mike brings all the guests and the juicy topics. So Melanie from the Joy Revolution, it's good to see you here. And also her son Atticus is watching, and he's giving you a bunch of hearts. So you're bringing families together here. Herman.
Nice, love it.
And we need to do. It's awesome to get kids watching and learning about this stuff early, because I bet a lot of kids probably have these senses, and they're taught to unlearn them, right?
The famous imaginary friend that we all have, those are angels, man.
So yes, that's so funny. So let me ask you this. Now, when it comes to being able to communicate with angels, when it comes to being able to communicate with, actually, let me ask you this. What happens when we die?
One of the things that I believe, there's no science to it, is to say something is exact. We leave our body and we take on another life. And that other life, our soul goes, it's like one of the things I believe, we have a big soul, like a big ball, and it brings out little branches. Each branch is like a different lifetime. So we go on to a different lifetime. We take what we learned from this one. When I do past life readings, for example, one of the things is like, what did I want to change? What, at the end of the lifetime, I believe we do like an examination, very compassionate one, saying, okay, this is what I liked and I didn't like. What can I do differently? And I bring into the following life circumstances very similar to be able to apply something different and to learn from that time. So that's what I believe out of it.
So it sounds like you're saying that our body is sort of a vessel.
Yes,
to house the soul temporarily so that the soul can evolve, right? So is there ever a time where the soul is disembodied from a body and it's just kind of traveling around? Like, can you communicate?
There are astral stuff, and I don't know about it very much, but a lot of people talk about it. And yeah, there are different things. I believe we have capacities to do anything we want.
So can you communicate with your mom?
Yes, with dead people I can communicate. Yes, and okay. I do that. I do that a lot.
So you talk to your mom?
Yes, I do, and I've talked with other moms and other people's moms to help them close cycles in life and all of that, and to get some information and to be able to feel in peace with that.
What has she told you?
Well, a lot of different things. She's helped me out a lot. And it's helped me out, especially in those moments that I felt very alone and I needed that companionship, and how she nurtured me when I was little and all of that. And she was also a very strong person. So she also gave me a lot of strength in certain moments. So it was very good.
So is her personality still showing up? Like, yes. Is when you communicate with her, is she still like you remembered her in her body? Like, is she like, Herman, you this jerk?
Yeah, man. When I communicate
if I was there, I would like totally spank you right now. Get off this show with that Asian guy.
Exactly, man. Really? When I communicate with that part, it's like I communicate with the branch that I was telling you, the personality part. If she was very strong or soft or whatever, that's the part I communicate.
So and that's not an ego projection of your own. It really is. Okay. And when you are communicating, how are you, like, are you hearing her? Are you seeing her? Like, what are because I only know 5 senses. The 6th sense is almost like me projecting one of the 5 senses out. And I've heard of clairaudience and stuff like that. How are you experiencing this?
I hear her in my head. So that's how I do it with every communication, angels, whatever energy that I talk with, it's in my head. And I see them also there.
Okay, so you see them.
Yeah.
What do they look like? Do they look like humans?
Yeah, exactly.
Balls of light or something.
Exactly. It's like I'm seeing you in this moment. That's how I see them.
Okay, so I want you to. Are there angels watching this right now?
Yeah, of course.
Are they cracking up?
Yeah, they're having a blast, man.
Tell me what you're seeing then. There's angels watching the Golden Mic, baby. We're on the Astro show.
Exactly. They're feeling very happy. They're feeling that it's a beautiful space for us to be able to transmit this information, and they're feeling very happy that you're opening up for this. So congratulations.
How many are there? How many are there?
I don't know. I don't care about the number. That's an ego part. It's like be a million or one.
I care about the number. I want to know about my ratings with the angels, man. I want to know how many angels are watching this show.
I see 5 in this moment. So
can you describe the 5 that you see?
They're all very, yeah, sure, man. They're all very light, very soft energy. At the same time, they're very happy energy, and they're very like a childish energy. It's very beautiful.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, man.
Are they my angels?
Yeah, not your angels. The angels there, man. The ones
are they angels that protect me, or are they just our buddies that come in?
They're buddies there, man. They're buddies, and they can protect you as soon as you let them. You just ask them, protect me, man. Help me out. Perfect. Come in.
Okay, so I want to know about my 5 buddies then. I want to know about my 5 buddies. Describe my angels. Describe what they've been trying to tell me that I'm not listening to. I'm just open. I'm open to knowing more about what's going on right now. And where are they? Like, is he right here?
Around. I see them around your head, man. It's like
what do you mean around my head?
Yeah, man. It's like a crown. Yeah, up there, man.
Come on down, guys. Hang out with me.
The message that they're coming through is that you've lost the fun that you had in life, that you should bring in more fun. And that's one of the things that although you smile a lot, but you need to bring in the more authentic smile that should come in continually, that you've lost up to a certain point, the joy that you had towards what you're doing, that you had very good intentions and you've lost yourself a little bit in the path. So the idea is for you to be able to connect with that you're connecting a lot from certain emotions that come up from your childhood years of feeling that you had to take a lot of responsibility. So part of it is to be able to let go of that and to be able to really enjoy all these different kinds of what you're doing today in work, because they're saying that you have a lot to give and people really need you. So part of it is to be able to bring it out of joy. That's where you're going to enjoy it more, and people are going to enjoy you even more. So stop all the responsibility part.
So ask them, is the joy revolution where it's at?
Yeah, man. And it's going to be bigger.
So these angels have a sense of humor, and they've been with me my whole life.
Yeah, there are several that have been there, and some have come and go. It's pretty much what you've needed in that moment. For example, if you felt alone and you wanted a relationship or partner, there comes in certain ones that help you out with that.
Okay, so my big 5. How can I connect with them, and how can we all connect with our angels?
The best way is I'll put it very easily. Just sit down, calm yourself, breathe a little bit, and just close your eyes, put a question out, and the first thing that you receive. That's it.
So, okay. So how do you how do you know it's just not you saying it?
Well, that's the part of why initially sometimes we probably need external help, like what I do and all of that. You've probably seen that through your coaching also, that when you coach people, like I already knew that. Sometimes we need that reaffirmation about it. So that's the part where sometimes when we start out, we lose objectivity, and probably we need, hey, I'm receiving this, but I'm not that sure. Can you help me out with it? Sure, man. And this is what you receive, and if it's okay or not with what you're receiving before. Because of fear. Sometimes, I don't know if you remember the quote of Jack Nicholson from A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. And that's sometimes what happens to all of us. we're afraid of the truth, and we've been taught that since we were little. So sometimes we don't want to hear it, and it's easier to hear it from somebody external, like, you, Mark, please tell me the truth, and then I can validate that easily.
So it's as simple as just saying, hey, I just need your guidance today.
Exactly, man.
And they'll just be like, yeah, dude, like, go back to the goofy ass joyful Mark, dummy. Like, stop taking this shit so seriously. Do they curse?
Yeah, of course.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. They don't curse. We weren't taught in Catholicism that they're like pristine and pure, dude.
They are pristine and pure, but why did they invent curse words for humans and they won't be able to do it? Who are them so different so they can be able to curse, man?
We're low energy. We're low energy people.
But who says that a curse word is low energy, man? That's how we speak. They should be able to speak in the same way that we speak. If you read the book Conversations with God, there's a lot of irony there from God. And you're going to see that this guy talks exactly like you and I speak. And there's no sense of them speaking differently than we do if we won't be able to understand them. They have to put themselves to our level, not ourselves to them initially. Later on, we'll grow up and we'll be able to elevate our energy towards them. But initially, hey, man, come down here. I need your help.
Okay. So is this what channeling is?
Yes.
Okay, so
information.
Okay, so there have been times in my life, and for anyone watching, like, where I'll just be asking for inspiration. Like, I'll just be walking around, and I'm like, I need something, you know, and I just clear my mind. I put my pen to paper, and it's almost like I didn't write it. It's like someone else wrote it for me. It's like I'm not even paying attention to the words. And then I look at it, and I'm like, I couldn't have written this if I had 100 years to write it, and I wrote it in 5 minutes. Exactly. Is that channeling?
Yeah, man. That's automatic writing, they also call it. It's your intuition. It's your guides coming through you. And don't worry about who came in, what angel, what if Jesus or Krishna or whoever. Don't worry about that part. It's just that, hey, I need information. I need to write this down. I came up with that wonderful idea. That's it. Thank you. That's it.
So are there angels with bad intentions for us?
Well, there is negative energy in the world. That's something we cannot say it doesn't exist. And there is that bad energy. But normally when we connect more from the loving part of us, it's difficult for them to come in. To be able to go, a lot of people, especially here in Colombia, they say to talk about how somebody did, they talk about a rezo, which would mean like a satanic stuff they did on me. That's up to a certain point. To be able to do that, it's not that easy. It's not like, I want you to have, I don't know, whatever bad stuff.
Careful, I've got five. Careful, I got 5 angels protecting me, you son of a bitch.
Man. Definitely.
By the way, are they laughing? Did they think that was a funny joke? I thought that was a funny joke, guys.
They're laughing, man. They're having a blast with you, man.
I'm loving it. I'm loving my posse, dude.
Yeah. Put the names that you want, man. So all this energy stuff, they're obviously there, but to be able to work with that, it's not that easy. It's something that takes time, and you have to really go deep and very in a low energy to be able to do that. But eventually exists, but it's like everything. So it's all how you connect. A lot of people talk about you have to protect yourself. If you start protecting yourself, it's like you're connecting with the lower energy, because I have to protect myself from you. It's something you have a low energy, so I don't want to connect with that. No, you as a coach and me also, we have to work around the fears of people. That could be considered low energy, but if we see it as something very normal, it is not considered as a low energy. It's just considered as a fear. It's something that we all have. Okay.
So Herman, I just need to ask you if, like, I myself am feeling a moment of joy right now. Can you see it?
Yeah, perfectly.
So, like, why is it that this stuff is so secretive and so it's almost taboo sometimes, right? To talk about these things. Why not just crack it open and just make this a part of modern culture?
Well, there's a part that's called religion that they want to have a control over us. So unfortunately, they don't want you to be empowered and to be able to bring on the answers on yourself, to be able to say, I don't need a priest, I don't need a book, I don't need to go to a place. I can do this on my own. Sometimes they even have the business part, so nobody would go. And second, we've been taught the fear around it, and people have all these issues. I believe the world is changing. All the woo stuff before was a bigger taboo than it is today, and the new generations that are coming in, they're coming in much more open to this. So I believe this is going to be changing in generations and future generations, so everybody can be more open to it. And that's mainly it. There's a lot of things I tell people, just try it out. If you don't like it, don't worry about it, but just give it a chance. It's like saying, I don't like broccoli. Why? Have you tasted it? No. No, just try it out, man. It's like a little kid. So do you want an angel therapy? No. People talk about mediumship, talking about dead people. Leave them alone. They need to rest. Come on, we can bring in good information to help you out. And people just like, oh, I don't want to do that. And just try it out. I'm not going to change my voice. I'm not going to elevate. I'm not going to turn my eyes red or anything like that, man. It's just normal conversation.
You know what? As I'm thinking about this and what you're saying, it sounds like you probably needed to move forward and I wouldn't say be fearless, but be able to show your talents or demonstrate your talents to help others, despite what a lot of people might think of you. I could see a lot of people, and I don't know how things are in South America, but you go around here talking smack about how you can talk to angels and stuff, and people might think you're a crazy motherfucker. Are you there? Are you there? Are you?
Yeah, I lost you for a second, man.
Okay. But like, what? Because you were like this.
I got
I was
you.
like, no, you can't. But like, in terms of like, in terms of you going forward with your business and intuitive coaching, I could see a lot of people pushing back and saying you're a crazy snake oil salesperson who's trying to rip people off.
Yeah, and for example, one of the biggest coming out of the spiritual closet for me was in school. So I came from a very rational, all men school, very mathematical, one of the best here in the country. And I had to repeat a year, so I have two generations that I talked to. And I went to these parties afterwards and like, hey, I can talk with angels and all of this. I felt very good about myself. These guys were like, really? It's like, they just heard it, and sometimes they were saying like, okay, let's talk about soccer or stuff like that. So it's like, or music. Obviously, I'm not to convert anybody. I really dislike that part. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But I just told everybody what I did. I heard even one of those meetings, some people afterwards were like talking terrible things around me, but I don't care about it. When I left the meeting, I was like, I had one of the best opportunities in my life to be me and to be able to see I honor myself and I respect myself, because under the spiritual closet, it was like I was living two lives. Like, yeah, I sort of do like a little coaching, executive coaching and all of that, but no, this is me. If you like it, wonderful. I had to tell my friends, if you don't believe in this, respect me. We'll talk about other things. If you want to talk about it, wonderful, but I'm not going to change you. I'm not going to convert you. I'm not going to talk about anything like this. So just respect me, and I'm the same Herman as always.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was hard.
And by the way, Cassie, Fiona, we see you. We see you. And so do your angels. Your angels see you as well. Oh, Fiona saying hi. It's great to see you, Fiona.
Hey,
now,
Fiona.
I wanted to I want to go back to me, because this is my show. It's my angel, and we love you, Herman. We absolutely love you, Herman. Actually, even before I go into my own ego, I want to talk to you about your angels, right? It sounds like you're or not your angels, but the angels you're in communication with, right? Like, do you ever ask the angels, like, look at this, Cassie has angels that hang out with her all the time. By the way, you guys know the link. Jump in the call if you want, guys. Oh, and I love you too. Yeah. Fiona likes to hang out at Hooters, so we know where her angels are. what are some of the biggest things that you've learned? And have you ever can angels see into the future? Because I do believe in things like free will, but do they ever say things like, Herman, if you go down this road, this is what's in store for you. Herman, if you don't make this decision now, you are going to be in a lot of pain. Like, do they help you with those sort of things?
Well, when I talk about the future, it's mainly how I'm living my life today. It's like I tell people this following example. If you're doing exercise, you're doing a diet, and you ask, am I going to lose weight? Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can change your diet. It's not like, because the angel said it, I can eat whatever I want. No, if you follow that path, eventually you do that. So what I'm doing today, everything can put me in a certain place. And that's what they guide me to. But I can change it 180 degrees completely. If that's not what I want, I'll change it and say, this is what I want differently. And that I can do that. So they give me certain things. Obviously comes into the objective part and the fear part, like, I don't want to hear that. And sometimes it happens. And I have to look for outside help also. It's like, gotcha. I'm receiving this a lot, but I'm scared. I don't know if it's true or not. If it's my ego, I need help here. Or sometimes I use oracle cards to put something external outside of me to tell me what I'm receiving there.
I love it. Now, Cassie's throwing this out too, and I want to talk to you about this in a second because we've been using the word receiving, and it sounds like that's a critical part for all of us living our daily life, is this art of receiving. So I want to ask you about that. But Cassie throws this out. There's an openness and acceptance of just not having to have all the answers or understand everything. And you know what, Cassie? It does make sense. That would be an ego thing to go and ask your angels for the lotto numbers, right? And they probably laugh their ass off, you know? And I get it, guys. I get it, guys. I ask them always for the lotto numbers, and they tell me it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Smart asses. So Fiona doesn't want me to tell everybody that she goes to Hooters all the time, but she does. If you want to know where Fiona is, she's in Hooters. So she's been. This is something that we talked about earlier. Our projections on angels and giving them names and stuff like that. You talked about Angel Michael. And by the way, I need to talk to you about some dude named Gabriel. Yeah. Which seems to be showing up a lot in my life. But I need to learn how to be open. Look, to receiving. So let's go there. What is this idea of receiving? What does that mean, Herman?
To receive is pretty much to be open to, not to put ourselves in the way. Sometimes we're afraid of receiving. Sometimes we believe we don't deserve it out of guilt, out of different kinds of things. So it's pretty much, it's like between two friends. You ask me for help and I give you the help and you don't receive it. It's the same thing there. So sometimes we ask for things, or hey, help me out with this. And sometimes, as you probably have seen David Niegel's information about the opportunities, which Napoleon Hill talks about. Sometimes we don't see the opportunities in the way we would like them. We see them as something negative. So the old adage about watch out for what you ask for because you might get it. And sometimes it happens that for example, looking for a partner, we ask, I want the perfect partner. We receive that person. It's like, oh, I'm scared. And I run away because I'm not prepared for it. So to receive, it's like, okay, that person is there. Let me open up for it, although I'm scared. And to be able to open up to the opportunity, to that moment, to it. Sometimes we feel that we don't deserve it. It's like somebody gave you money. Or, for example, something very simple. Hey, Mark, thank you for what you're giving me today. No, it's not me. It's you, man. It's whatever. You don't even receive the gratitude. So it's very hard for us to receive stuff. So sometimes when we ask for that help, we are not even open to receive it.
Yeah, and Fiona's throwing it out there. Oh, it's that freaking fear again. Yeah, so how can, I'm turning it on you, you sucker MC. You're always asking me for practical advice. Are there practical things here on the art of receiving? Like, how do we truly open up to being able to take some of these things in? How can Fiona connect with her angel more?
For example, if you do journaling, one of the exercises that I really love is to look at what you received yesterday, for example, because sometimes we don't want to see it in the moment, but it's easier yesterday to say, Okay, what did I receive yesterday? I received a compliment, I received money, I received an opportunity of this or that. And with that, we'll start changing our conception around receiving and to look at it differently. So once we start looking at it and start saying, and sometimes very small things, it's not so much as, oh, I received the life yesterday. Yeah, that's cool. But what else? Yeah, because people go like into gratitude. I'm grateful for breathing and for my wife. And yeah, but go into more small things, because then you start seeing the bigger things in life. Sometimes we don't want to see it. It's like, for example, money. When we look for money, unless we received $1 million, we won't say thank you, because it's like, hey, yeah, I received $1,000, but that only helps me pay my credit card. I'm not grateful for it, or I don't receive it. It's looking in between the lines of certain things of what we're receiving. Also, to understand why we're receiving it. Sometimes we're receiving stuff out of fear. We're creating that. We have that power of creating what we want in life. So sometimes we create stuff that we don't like. But it's to be able to understand the receiving part is, I deserve it. This is me, and that's something I can do, and that's something I can receive. And I really should have it.
So Herman, let me ask you this: if you said that I have the power to create, and I also
Yes.
have there's also an art in receiving.
Yes.
Can I ask angels, or can I just throw out to the universe? I guess you got me speaking woo, bro. Can I just wake up and throw out to the universe and say, send me my perfect client today? I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Can I ask that?
Yes.
Then how? Okay, and so
why doesn't it happen?
Yeah, why doesn't it happen? Stop freezing! Be live, you sucker MCs! I need to know this answer! Be live, you're holding me down. This is why I'm a low energy person. Are you there, Herman? Okay, for those of you who are...
I'm here, man.
Okay, Herman, Be Live is trying to hold me down. I'm throwing it out there to the universe. I want to meet my perfect client.
We won't let him.
I want to meet my perfect client today.
Yeah.
I guess number one is there an art of throwing that question out?
There are two things. What would you consider, first of all, as a perfect client? Because we say perfect client. What is a perfect client? Somebody that pays you $1 or $1 million. Somebody that believes in you or doesn't believe in you, that wants to work with you in a certain way or whatever. There are different kinds of things. A lot of people, when they ask for a partner, it's like, I want the partner of my dreams. What are your dreams? So somebody comes up to your life, and that's not what I asked for. So you just ask for somebody. That's what you receive. But the second thing,
you get what you ask.
Exactly, man. So second, one of the things is like you might say, okay, I have my perfect customer, which is this, A, B, C, D, F, G. I want the perfect customer today, but immediately like, no, but today is whatever day, it's going to be Thanksgiving. I won't be able to get it. So that's the biggest issue there. And that's where our fears come from. So
in coaching, this is limiting beliefs.
Exactly.
Which limit your actions.
And what you ask for. So you say it, but at the same time, you think of different kinds of things. So it's like, what the heck do you want, man? Or it's like, do you want the perfect customer, but you say you can't have it? So come on, tell me, what do you want?
So is that what the angels are doing? They're like, come on, man, that's what you asked for, you ass. Do they call me an ass? God, yeah. My angels are jerks, man. But I get the thing that I'm also hearing in this is clarity. And clarity is something that comes up a lot in coaching. Like, so if you put out something, be very clear about what it is that you're asking for. Be very clear of the reason why you want something and what that's going to lead, and the emotional, sort of the emotional outburst that you're going to have as a result of it, the feeling that you're going to get. Fiona's saying, I know. So Fiona, it sounds like you've got some clarity going on. Let us know more about that clarity. And Fiona, you got the link, so jump in on the damn show, for God's sake, for Angel's sake. Cassie threw it out because you do not release the control of it. If you ask, then you have to release the control over the outcome to be able to receive it. You
Exactly.
cannot grab hold of anything if you have a death grip of control on something else. Talk about that, Herman.
Well, one of the things is that we do not let go and let God. I love that phrase. And part of it's like I asked for that perfect partner, but I'm for that perfect customer, for example, and I just let go. If I'm all the time, for example, looking at my phone and seeing if it came in, it came in, it came in, it's like I'm not letting God in this case or energy or universe to be able to work. It's like I'm coming in the way all the time. So it's like micromanaging. You know, if you micromanage, you won't be able to let people do their work or their job correctly. So here the idea is to be able to let go also, because once I let go, I also trust. And trust is, I know you'll be able to do it. That's saying, I know it can be done. Instead of saying yes or no, can it or cannot it be done? I'm not seeing it yet, so it's not going to be done. But at the same time, I want it. So you're giving all these mixed signals. Letting control is saying, I trust you. I put it out there. I don't know how it's going to come, but it's going to come.
So let me ask you this. Where do we draw the line between letting go and taking responsibility for our actions to create?
Okay, wonderful question. The idea is for us to do what we can. There's a saying in Spanish, which I really love. I haven't heard it in English. We do the possible, God does impossible. So what does that mean? We do.
That's not Spanish, that's English.
Okay, I've never heard it in English. So one of the things is to be able to just do what you can. That's it. It's like, what can you do to get a perfect customer? To put out posts in Facebook and in your email and different things, to do it the best way possible, to learn from what you've done, to do it in a different way, and that's it, and to let go. That's our responsibility there, and our responsibility also is to not connect with the fear part of it also.
That's brilliant, dude. The reason why I think that's brilliant is because I didn't get a partner until I put out what I wanted from a partner, what I was looking for in a partner. The rest of the time, like if I was on a dating site or anything, I'd be talking about myself and how awesome of a guy I was, right? And it seems like all the same thing, you know, like be very clear about what it is that you want and don't be afraid to ask. You know, and I think, you know what, I'll just throw it out there. There's a big piece in feeling like you deserve something, right? And like, how many of us have grown up in a culture where we've been taught, you don't deserve this. You didn't earn this, right?
You're not enough.
Yeah, you're not enough. And how much of that unlearning to be able to truly ask and expect to receive. And is that too much of is that too much to ask to say I expect to receive?
Yeah, it's good. It depends on how you do it, because if you do it, I expect it out of fear, out of your ego, like I'm the guy, I'm the best one. If you say it out of expectation, out of love, that I call, it's, yeah, this is normal and I can do this and I can expect this because I deserve it. Mm-hmm. So it pretty much depends on how you put it out there.
So this does also sound like manifestation,
or
like law of attraction stuff. So
yeah, you can call it whatever, but that's all there.
Okay, so all of this is like universal thought. It's stuff that we all can utilize. It's stuff that we all can do. So we are going to get off this call in a second, but I want thank you everybody, Melanie, Cassie, Fiona, for those of you who are watching. You're a fucking expert, Herman. And you have an amazing story, man. I wanted to put this out there. Herman, you've got a freebie for us.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's in the show notes. What do we get? What do we get if we go and click on that link?
Well, you get 60 minutes with me to be able to ask me questions so I can bring out and help you out with all the information you need around relationships, or if you want to talk about other things. Initially it's more for relationships, but if you want to talk about your job or your kids or your family, whatever, we can talk about it. And what I do is I do an intuitive reading on it. We bring in the information, we bring in how that was created. Also, it's not like you should forgive yourself and that's it. No, it's like, okay, why don't you forgive yourself? The why part. why you're not doing the cliches that we know about, and what action steps you can start doing in your life to be able to change that and create the results you really want.
Fan-freaking-tastic. And that is in the
Yeah.
show notes, y'all. There's the link is right there. 60 minutes with Herman. Herman, we barely got into my angels, and I'm feeling really good about talking to them now.
Yeah.
Now I've got 5 people that are a captive audience, right? I've got 5 angels with me right now, is what you're saying. It's been great seeing you too, Cassie. Thank you for participating.
Thank you, Cassie.
So what are the steps, or what can we do now? What can I do on a daily basis to cultivate this relationship with these angels around me?
Just start talking with them and start letting go and play with it a lot. It's like learning anything new, like learning an instrument or stuff like that. You just play with it. Just see how it feels. Talk with angels and see how you feel about it. I put it like the energy is like feeling. It's like tasting food. So I'm going to take it to a restaurant. Let's try it all the plates there is. You taste each one. You smell it. You feel how it feels inside of you. And that's the part you should be able to do with angels also. Play with it. Just ask, hey, how do you feel today? What is your name? Or I want to put you, I don't know, Michael, or any kind of name that you want out there. And just play with it. And each day start changing and just don't take it so seriously. Because this is you with yourself. It's not, since you're not going to do tomorrow angel therapy, so play with it a little bit so you can feel more comfortable with it, around with yourself, and see how they communicate. What is their voices? How is the tone of the voice? If you hear them, how do you hear them? If you see them, how do you see them? A color, something like that. Or if you smell them, or you taste them, or whatever. And then you'll start identifying them. It's like you identify people. You can hear their voice and you know, oh, this is this person. Or you can taste something, you know, this is coffee, or this is whatever. Or you smell a certain lotion, you know that lotion it is. So it's the same thing here with angels.
Yeah, I like what I like what Fiona just said. Take my angels out to play. That sounds like fun.
Exactly, man.
She agrees with Cassie. This truly has been the best. You're welcome. That's me receiving, right?
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
So I am gonna have a conversation with my boys and my girls, my angels, right? I got two more questions for you. Who is this Gabriel? Because the name keeps popping in my head.
Archangels. He has to do. He has a love with animals. He has all these different archangels. It's one step above angels. And they each have different kinds of quote unquote powers or certain things very specific. Gabriel also talks about communication. He talks about, for example, Gabriel was the one who communicated Mother Mary about Jesus. And he's been there in several religious traditions about communication, that he brings in them big information. So normally a lot of people like to talk with Gabriel and invoke him, or, hey man, help me out because I need to communicate something. For example, today, doing the golden mic would be wonderful for you just to say, hey, Gabriel, give me a little help here. Give me a little boost here to be able to communicate better. That's it. That's something you can do. And
so this dingbat has been in my life before.
Yeah, man, because you communicate a lot.
Is Gabriel one of the 5?
No, he's external. He's another guy. He's beside
Gabriel,
you.
Come on, man. Come on, watch my show, dude.
Beside you, in his brown. That's what I'm getting a lot around you. A brown color. Yeah.
So what are they, Filipino archangels around me?
I don't know, man, whatever you want to call it.
But... So I do want to ask you this as well. It's towards the end of the show, and I start asking my personal questions when no one is watching. And so I brought with one other person, and I just want to follow up on this. There was a time in my life when I was in my PhD program when I hated everything about it. I didn't feel like it was serving me, that I was going to, I just felt like a fish out of water. And I remember it was around my birthday. I was writing, I was by myself. And I just remember like, I literally like looked up, I was almost in tears. And I said, God, if there was ever a time I needed you in my life, I just need just give me one sign that I'm not alone right now. And I felt a lightning bolt literally a lightning bolt go from my feet to my head. Was that my angels fucking with me?
Yeah, man.
Is that one of the 5 angels that's with me?
Yeah, man. It's all that.
How do I? Well, all I gotta say is like, that was awesome, Angel. Like, thank you. Who is it? Where is this angel? Can I invoke them to come right next to me?
They're right there, man. They couldn't be closer, man, because they'll hit you in the face, man.
Do they remember? Do they know when they did that?
Exactly. And one of the things, to answer an old question that you asked today, you open up to receive. That's why you received that and you felt that. Because it's not like, hey, I need to feel that I'm not alone. And you didn't shut down. You just open up and you immediately got that.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah. Herman, it's been awesome having you here.
Thank you.
My 5 friends, it's been awesome having you here. We are going to talk, guys. We're going to have a powwow because I've got some things that I want to communicate out. They know what I have to say, but like I'm open to receiving. Herman, let's have you back. How do you feel about that?
Thank you, man. I would love it. I would love it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It would be an honor.
Herman, this is called the Golden Mic for a reason. Because right now, the Golden Mic is coming down from your ceiling and it's stopping right in front of you. The entire world is listening for 2 minutes or less. This Golden Mic translates. I'm so proud of you, dude. This Golden Mic translates into every language all across the world. And I would also say the astral universe now.
Yeah, man.
Everyone is listening, Herman. So, Herman, when I hit the Golden Mic, you're going to be live. Herman Jaramillo, your Golden Mic is live now.
What I want to tell people is to really learn to accept yourselves. That, first of all, I don't believe that anybody has done anything bad. We do with what we have, with what we know, and we do it towards self-love. So there's no self-forgiveness, there's only self-acceptance. And I believe the world will change once we accept ourselves, and that way we'll be able to accept everybody else and to see that we're all the same. We have all the same fears, we have all the same love, and we're just looking for somebody to understand us. And I believe that as soon as we start understanding ourselves and accepting ourselves, we can change the world. And that's my biggest message for all of you. And hopefully we can start doing that.
Okay, so I want everybody to gather around. All angels, gather around. Herman, I want you to hold up that mic. I want you to drop that mic like it's on, Herman Jaramillo. The angels are loving it. They're going crazy. They're going crazy.
Yeah, man.
Herman, thank you so much. This has been Golden Mic 96. Go out and play. Play with your angels. Be open to receiving. And remember, you construct your world, and we all co-construct it together. My name is Mark Cordone. This has been episode 96. I've got one more question for y'all watching the replay, and it's this. If you're feeling good and you're living your life in its full purpose, what is your responsibility to changing history for the better? I'll see you tomorrow. Herman, we'll see you soon. Thank you, brother. Love you.
Thank you, man.
Stay on the line.